Station, where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Desde Brooklyn hasta el sol del Medio Oriente, José Flores con fuego en la mente. Raised in the Bronx where dreams don't sleep, donde el hambre te enseña a resistir. Section 8 life, no handouts, no cheat. He built his power from the pain on the street.
Cada golpe, cada lágrima caída fue el fuego que encendió su vida. Ahora camina con propósito y voz. José Flores, hear the noise. De la calle al combate, turn his trials into faith. Con disciplina y con fe, now he rises every day. From the black to the world, sin temor.
If you ever need a haircut,
José
so that these kids
marches
can
with
learn how to play instruments or want to, not just learn, but want
30
to.
years deep,
But I think that
marching through war zones,
there's
never
a major
lost sight.
shift.
Iraq to Korea, he led from the
coming in
front.
just
Now he lifts others, never just stunts. Hoy es mentor, líder, amigo.
what's up, mi gente? Welcome to the Motivated Mindset. Yay, yay. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. I'm your host, José Antonio Flores, proud Latino, born in New York City, straight out of the Bronx, raised in Brooklyn. You talking to me? Check this out. That New York flavor, that hustle, that grit, it shaped me, built me, and still drives todo lo que yo hago. You know what I'm telling you, right? So, hey, look, I'm a combat veteran who served 30 years in the United States Army. Hoorah, all right now. And right here, right now, before we get rolling, I want to send a powerful salute, right, to all my veterans, service members, and first responders. I feel you. Thank you for what you do day in, day out. Mucho respeto. You already know. You see what I'm saying? Now, in this new chapter of my life, I wear many hats other than this cool one right here. Thank you very much for noticing that. Yeah, brother. So I am a motivational speaker, a certified personal trainer, a certified mediator, and yes, even an end-of-life death doula, mi gente. But here's the truth, right? Behind all those titles, right? I do what I do because I am called to serve. You feel me? Because I know what struggle feels like. You feel me? Because I know what it means to fight for a purpose and to help others find theirs. Every day, my mission is simple, right? What we do here is to inspire, right? To uplift, to challenge, to be a reminder that no matter where you started, you can always redefine your life with corazón, heart, discipline, faith, and relentless drive. That's why this podcast exists. The Motivated Mindset is where we talk about resilience, culture, optimism, discipline, and the courage it takes to keep pushing even when life swings muy duro. That means hard, right? And I am glad that you're here because we keep it real. New York City real. Yay, yay, how you doing? Grandmaster Flash. Okay, anyway. Straight talk, Bronx humor, zero sugar coating, right? You're going to laugh, you're going to reflect, get fired up, even shed a tear. I do because I'm cutting onions. You get it? Right. Anyway, but check this out. One thing I promise you, right? One thing te voy a prometer. You'll leave here a little stronger than when you press that play button because this isn't just motivation, mi gente. This is about transformation, right? This is about what we do as we move forward. But one last thing before we bring in our guests. If you vibe, right, with what you see, let me see. Right here, here we go. If this conversation inspires you, if you appreciate the interviews, the energy, yay, because I bring it every day. Okay, call down, Jose. And the message, all I ask that you support my YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little motivation. Your support helps me keep bringing powerful guests, meaningful conversations, and purpose-driven content straight para ti, to you. You feel me? You know what I'm telling you now? Now, let's talk about today's guest. If you don't know, you better ask somebody up in here. Today, on the Motivated Mindset, I am honored to welcome an incredible leader, mentor, and transformational coach, Coach Lakesha. Thank you. An ICF Associate Certified Coach who partners with individuals and, como se dice, organizations to build resilience, expand awareness, and truly step into their brilliance. She creates a powerful, confidential space where growth happens, helping people get clear on who they are, what they want, and the action steps needed to reach their goals, both personally and professionally. Her impact spans across federal coaching programs like the IRS and the Office of OPM, where she not only trains but mentored future coaches. She's also poured into communities, leading, speaking on national stages, and empowering individuals to pursue a fulfilling life with purpose, intention. Coach Lakesha is a strategic leader, a gifted encourager, and someone who is committed to adding value everywhere she goes. Get ready, mi gente. This conversation is on fire. It's about growth, purpose, and unlocking your next level. So we're about to get into it.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Lakesha, what's up?
I love it. Thank you so much. It's so good. The energy is just there. Okay.
Girl, we got to bring it every day. Thank you for being on my podcast. I appreciate you.
I'm so glad
so much. This is stupendous, all right? So what we want to know is, who is Lakesha? Where you from? Who makes you who you are?
Okay. So first of all, I'm like the good Christian that I am, first giving honors to God, who is the head of my life. But who is Lakesha? Multifaceted, as you've already said. I grew up, so first of all, I honor all service people, because I was now we are really not brats, but I hate it when people will say, oh, they're just a Marine Corps brat. But I did. I grew up in a Marine Corps household, Semper Fi. And originally I'm from Mississippi. I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi, but I grew up in the DMV area. So my own personal hashtag is I am Mississippi made, but DMV raised. Okay. So don't get it twisted. I got Southern hospitality, but go runs through my veins. But I love, and every day I fall in love with who God created me to be. I know I knew from a young child, natural motivator, always wanting to help others, motivate and see other things in people and pull it out of them. I didn't know what it was called, but I grew up now and I know that it's coaching. And so that's who I am, the motivator, the encourager. That's Lakesha.
So who was one of your first, let's say, mentors as you were growing up? Who did you look up to?
Oh my gosh. And we'll always talk about my grandmother. Okay. Again, from Jackson, Mississippi. My grandmother, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the movie called The Help, but yes. My grandmother, that was the role that she played, but not realizing that while she didn't have a whole lot, we weren't super rich, we weren't super poor, but everything that she had, she gave away. She really inspired me to always help others, no matter what socioeconomic level you're on. You can always give, because there's somebody else who needs a little bit more than you can, right? And so while I lived in the DMV, I spent all of my summers in hot Mississippi. Okay. And this woman had me. So any Southern girls out there, about shelling peas. That ain't the easiest job in the world. But we would shell peas, bag them, and then she'd have me go deliver them. And I would be confused, like, wait a minute, we just spent 3 hours putting all these vegetables together to go give them away. But I learned, when you give away, you create capacity to receive.
Yes.
So all of those things that she gave me built me.
Wow. No, that is stupendous. So after high school, what was your next move? What did you do right after high school?
Okay, so again, product of this area, I went to St. Stephen's, St. Agnes, and I immediately went to George Mason University. I had my sights. So from the 3rd grade on, I always loved government, politics, order. I thought I wanted to be an attorney. I said, you hear me say, I thought I wanted to be. So I was pursuing, I changed my mind about, I knew, I could get into law, but I really want to be a lobbyist. I want to advocate. So I went to George Mason. I got my bachelor's degree in government and politics. But like most people, you get a degree and that is not what you fall into. Yes, and ma'am. So my first job out of college, I worked for a chemical trade association, the American Chemistry Council, but found myself working in government affairs, and it didn't line up with my moral compass. It didn't line up with what was in my heart. And so I spent a little time. I stayed at that job for a couple years, and then found myself at another trade association. I worked for the American Society of Hematology. But still, it was a job, right? it wasn't a calling. I had been a child actor when I was in middle school and high school.
Wait,
So
you said you were a child actor?
I was.
Wait. I gotta please share that with us, please. That is stupendous. Okay.
Yeah. So I again, my grandmother poured so much, and she was the type of person that would encourage you, try anything legal. Legal. And I love the arts. I danced. I was with the DC Youth Ensemble. I danced. But I had a friend who he did an episode of The Cosby Show. Now, mind you, like the age of 10 and 12, like I was a hustler, like I always had business or something on my mind. And so he was like, listen, like literally we met at the mailbox on our bikes. He was like, agent, I think you should meet her. And I'm like, yes, I should. So literally age 13, I go with him to an acting class. I get a contract with this agent, bring it home. And I was like, Mom, the lady said sign right here. And then I can start auditioning. And literally within a couple weeks, I started auditioning. My very first gig, I did a reenactment on America's Most Wanted. And after that, I just I wasn't seeking fame. I was always seeking, like, how can I make funds for myself so that I don't have to be a burden on anybody? But it's another skill. So carried that out. And something that I say is part of my retirement plan. I'm gonna return to it.
No, that is awesome. No, that is, I love that. I love that. Oh my goodness. Wow. So then after college, you had all these different jobs, and what was the one that you finally just stuck with you?
I will say when I got out of trade association, I ended up I went to work for a very small brand management company called Brand New World. Shout out to Alan and Alan, Feldenkrais and Schulman. And it was one of those jobs where you interview for one job, but then when you get to the table and then you take the job, they're like, okay, so I know you thought you was going to be the receptionist, but you're going to be the business manager. Excuse me, huh, what? Okay. But it was the challenge of learning their business, learning how to run their business, and being everything, HR.
Right.
Okay.
Good. What happens?
It does. And so that job actually, they ended up moving. I was managing 2 offices, Virginia and New York. They ended up closing down Virginia and moving to New York. So I was out of a job for a little while. Wow. But again, I told you I was a hustler. So at the time, I also owned a wedding and event planning company, and I was dabbling in Mary Kay. So Jamaican is in my blood. That is
right.
So after, that kind of, I was like, I need to get a job. I became a government contractor with the Federal Aviation Administration, did that for a couple of years, and then became a Fed. So I'm a proud federal worker. And after working within the federal government for probably about 6 years, I went back to school, got my master's in government strategic leadership. And it was during that experience that I'm a planner. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do when I graduate? I've got another semester. And I was just sharing with a classmate. She was like, so what's your plans? And I said, I want to encourage feds to stop looking at their jobs as jobs. I want them to look at their jobs as careers. Like, you can make something out of this. You can really encourage. She said, you want to be a coach? I didn't know what coaching was. I said, I'm 5 feet tall. I'm not coaching nothing. Like, what? Like, help. What are you talking about? No. You've never heard of executive coaching? I said, I've never heard of executive coaching. She hooked me up with a coach. And the coach said in my second session, she said, I don't think you need to be coach. I think you need to be a coach. And that started me out pursuing becoming a coach.
That was the turning point right there. That was it. Wow.
That was it.
So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we want to talk about when someone feels, let's say, stuck. What's the first question you ask them to unlock clarity? When we come back to this quick commercial break, you're going to love this talk because it's my favorite. Here we go.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Front line, pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Welcome back to the Motivated Mindset with José Flores. Okay, Lakesha, what you thought of that video?
That was awesome. It was awesome and touching. Oh my gosh. I remember when my dad used to have to go overseas. And so that was us moving. We moved back and forth to this area because whenever he went overseas, we would go back to Mississippi. So that was coming up for me, you know. Yeah. And being a military kid and having to always carry, especially during wartime, we would have to carry our IDs with us because whenever you would get to the base, the MPs would come on the bus to check our IDs to make sure that we can get on base. So
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
So, hey, the question we left that is when someone feels stuck, you know, what's the first question you ask them to unlock clarity?
Well, first, I get curious. So let me tell you, one thing about coaching is we are extremely curious. And coaches really help to unfold by asking questions. So the first question will be what's getting in your way, right? And so part of it is coming to the realization that maybe I'm getting in my way, right? Sometimes people think that there's a prescribed way to do things, and you kind of have to just sit back, step back, and look at the terrain and say, like, okay, what's out here? You know, and am I going in the right direction? Really get clear on what your end goal is. And sometimes you may have to, what I tell clients is reframe. Maybe that end goal is not where you really need to go, because what's really at the core of the reason you're pursuing this thing. It may not be for you to pursue. It may be for you to go in a whole different direction, but you've got to come to that point by really investigating what's going on. So I'd really first figure out what's getting in the way.
So you're almost like a detective.
Absolutely. I like to say that I kind of dig around.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I like getting in the dirt, and I always say, like, I uncover the diamonds and represent them to you, because they're not mine to keep. It's for me to give them to you.
No, that's awesome. I got a question. So how do you know the difference between needing a rebrand versus just needing rest or clarity, as someone has said?
I think you have to assess, what do you feel like? One of the things that we investigate is, and I ask a lot of questions about, how do you feel in your body physically? Sometimes you need that reset when you are exhausted, when you've been chasing something for so long. I literally just told somebody the other day, I have goals and visions that have not come to pass, and I didn't leave them behind. I just changed the date. So sometimes you step back and see, like, have I been chasing this thing? Maybe I need to just pause. Now, a rebrand is if you've been going after and going after and going after, and it's just not coming up for you. Again, maybe that's not something that you need to be pursuing. Step back and figure out, number one, what really is my passion? What am I crafted to do? One quote that I really love is that comparison is the thief of joy. And we have to be very careful not to look over in somebody else's garden and say, like, oh, what they're growing, I want to grow what they're growing. But baby, your terrain might be different. Your soil might be different. So you can't put the seeds from somebody else's garden in yours, because it may not grow.
That is so, yeah. I remember when I first got out the military, I was lost like last year's Easter eggs. It's almost like I couldn't find my purpose, you know, and I had to almost like reassess myself, you know, and say, okay, Jose, because when you first come out, you don't know what you're capable of doing. That's, you know, which brings me to this next question. And I'll tell you, it says, Lakesha, how do you coach someone through moments of doubt or imposter syndrome feelings while they're trying to rebrand themselves? I don't know if that's a question we got. Yeah.
Imposter syndrome. So one thing that I really love with every client is figuring out, what is their moral compass? What is your foundation? Who do you believe you are? And then if it's something that does not align with who you believe you are, my question is, who told you that? Are you believing something that doesn't even belong to you? Sometimes one of the questions that I love to ask, and I need to trademark this, but sometimes people will have done things to you, or people that have been in your life, and you have to ask, did they leave a mark or did they make a stain? Right? So sometimes there are things that you have to unhinge yourself in. The way that I like to say is that I peacefully detach to anything that's not aligned to me. Right? So imposter syndrome really is us not believing who we really are. Sometimes you block out that noise, and you, again, stop trying to compare yourself with other people and be confident in who you are. Every day, fall in love with who you are, because you're unique. I am a person of faith, and I really believe you are fearfully and you are wonderfully made. Fearfully and wonderfully equate to awesome and amazing. So if you believe that you're awesome and amazing, guess what you are? You absolutely are.
Are amazing. Yeah. Sometimes we have to do that self-talk, don't we?
Absolutely. Self-talk is the best talk, okay? Because who else is going to motivate you when you have nobody else? You better talk to yourself. You better encourage yourself.
I do that all the time, as long as I don't answer myself back. Really? Okay, no. But anyway, you're right. It's that self-talk, because I have to do it. So, you know, as many years as I've done public speaking, every time right before I get to the mic, I get the butterflies in. They have to psych myself out. Like, Jose, you've done this. This is easy, right? But sometimes we let that fear grip us, and it stops us, right?
I've learned to reframe that. I look at it as a beautiful space of humility, because you are not so full of yourself that you got it. that you realize that I'm not doing this on my own, right? There's something inside of me that I have to get out, but help me get it out. And I mean, hello, I had to get myself together before I was talking to you, right?
Right.
But I know I can do this.
No,
But yeah.
So here's a question. It says, what is a challenge in your life that you've overcome that has affected your approach to coaching others?
I will say that when I first started, so in your coach training, everyone gets the same bread and butter, right? But what I had to learn is that Coach Lakesha is going to be different from every other coach, and getting comfortable with how I approach coaching. I'm a completely different coach than anyone else. But what I love is that I have allowed, when I am in front and present with someone, I become the coach that they need, not the coach that I think that they need. Gotcha. And so I listen, I ask the questions that they may not even realize that they're not sharing. So I start digging and I ask the questions and I show up, because the minute that you tell me, and one of the things that's important for me to understand is what's your moral compass, what is your foundation, and I'm going to use those things, because again, all I am is a mirror that I'm before you so that you can reflect and see you. Because oftentimes, and one thing that folks that experience coaching, what they love is that they're being heard. Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of people have never been heard. But the other thing is some people have never been seen. They don't realize the treasure that lies inside of them and the gift that they are in the world. And so they need someone, they need a coach, they need a cheerleader, they need somebody to pull it out of them. And a lot of times clients are just like, because I'm going to repeat what you say.
Right.
I the phrase I say all the time, well, I heard you say X, Y, and Z. And they're like, did I say that? And you said that. You know why? Because it's in here. It's already there. Everything you need, you already have.
No, that's beautiful. You're absolutely correct. It's that doubt we get sometimes in life. And here's another question in that regard. How do you rebrand yourself when the people around you are still holding to your old identity, even yourself, and that self-talk may not help?
So the part that really stuck out is when people are holding you. So you need to evaluate who are the people, who's in your circle. And if you have someone who's trying to hold you to an old narrative of yourself, you have to question, do I need to keep them in my space? One thing that I fully stand on, believe in, and encourage others is you are responsible for managing your space. And your space is your space, and your space, right? Yes. So that's your head, your heart, and your physical space. If you have folks in your circle who are not about helping you to push forward, and one of the things that my tagline is pushing you to your positive potential, then they may not need to be in your circle anymore. They serve their purpose. Reasons, seasons, and lifetime. And so their season may be up, but do you have the confidence and the courage to allow them to peacefully move on so that you can move on?
No, that is, in this last year, the people that I've met that have fulfilled my life, that's to include, Yvette, and the people that have given me love, has been amazing. And but you're right, being around people that are positive, that inspire you, that don't tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear.
Yes.
That.
Yes.
And I'm gonna bring my faith in, because I was when you mentioned about who's in your circle, when I finally forgave somebody that I had to forgive, that was the hardest thing, Lakesha, but it opened up the space to let others in. And that was an amazing transformation. That's how I could relate it to when you said that, people around you. And like Yvette said, the CEO tribe, Chief Energy Officer.
Yes. Shout out to Yvette, who is my personal pusher. Okay. She's going to push you to your positive potential too.
So you are so right about, being around people that I don't know, como se dice, that feed you,
yes,
so you can grow, And one of the things I learned was I had to learn to fill my own cup, because sometimes we give so much of ourselves, right?
I'm so glad you said that. One of the things that I tell clients, it's okay to pour, but don't pour out everything.
Yeah.
You do not, you when you pour into others, and this is a practice of mine, if I know I'm in a space of almost being depleted, that's when I pause. That's when I retreat. That's when I take Sabbath. I literally just got back from vacation, partly for my birthday, and it was my Sabbath rest. I completely unplugged. While everybody else on that cruise ship was looking for some internet, I was not. And my phone was going to stay on airplane mode, my watch on airplane, because it was me in the sea. I needed to release, but I also needed to receive. And so, don't, please, if y'all don't hear anything else I say, never pour out everything in your cup. Make sure that you leave that space for yourself.
Okay. We have another question. It says, as a coach, how do you describe personal rebranding as an internal shift rather than a change in appearance or title?
Personal rebranding as a shift. So it sounds like to me, it sounds like a lifestyle, not necessarily a moniker. That to me sounds like when you are changing your mantras, changing your patterns, changing your footsteps. And so that may be a space where you reevaluate how you move. What are those things that you need to do? One of the things I tell clients all the time is trying to help them like create what is your self-care pattern, right? And self-care, I wish people would understand self-care is more than taking a shower and a bath.
Yes.
It's more than lotions and candles. Okay. Self-care is really taking care of what are you feeding yourself here and here, right? How are you taking care of your body? Your body is a temple, right? If we don't take care of these bodies, and I love you say that you are a trainer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Your physical body also, all of it works together. Your mind, body, soul, and spirit, they all work together. And so that's self-care. I always use the season of Lent. I'm a Christian. I use the season of Lent as a space to evaluate my life and myself, because that's a good 40 days. 40 days is a long time, right? And so I have to figure out, is journaling working or is it not working? Do I have to use voice notes or do I not use voice notes? Am I like, do I need to turn off the TV, the internet, social media? What is it? Because it's not, sometimes a lot of people get caught up with like, oh, I got to fast. I'm not going to eat this. But what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your ears? What are you feeding your eyes? Right? What are those things that you need to shift the nutrients, the emotional, spiritual nutrients that you're feeding yourself? And so I hope that's answering the question for that person, that no, it's not always a moniker. It's not always finding some new clothes or getting a new shoe or getting a new title. But when you make those type of shifts and change, I promise you, your countenance is going to change.
That's awesome. Dr. Pacheco Turner said, you need people in your life to push you to your position potential. Love that. And thank you for sharing. What advice would you give to someone who's outgrown their current environment but isn't in a position to leave yet?
So what's coming up for me is actually a sermon by Michael Todd from Transformation Church, that you're planted, you're not buried. And so in that space, what I took from that series, and something that I just right now, I'm in plenty of different spaces, but you're under development. And so you may not necessarily be ready to move, but this is the time that you invest in you. This is the time that you figure out, okay, do I need to, what do I need to learn right now? What skills do I need to refine right now? What do I have my sights on? Do I need to adjust what my goals look like? There's every year I like to use, and it's a free resource called the Year Compass, and you can Google that and go online. Now I will tell you, it is more, you have to put a little bit more effort into it than just writing down goals, because it's one of those tools that really makes you reflect. You reflect on your past year, and then you reflect on what do you want. But in that space, when you're not necessarily ready to move, prepare, because you want to be ready for when that opportunity or whatever it is that you are believing for, you want to be ready when that opportunity comes that you can move, that you can get up out of there.
Okay. And Chrissy Champagne said, what are some of the most common barriers you find clients facing when they are working with you to achieve their goals?
I think part of it is, again, going back to comparison. And I don't like leaning into imposter syndrome, but it's I think you talked about it earlier. It's that doubt. It's that disbelief. When and sometimes it's not even it's self-doubt, but it's really not coming to the understanding that what you can do. So when I coach and someone is stuck and they're just like, well, I don't know about this. And so I will flip it. Instead of us talking and getting all rooted down into what you can do, well, what can you do? And I will tell you one thing that I love about coaching. There's several different niches and avenues in coaching, but I got, as I was studying neurological coaching, understanding how the brain works, right? Whenever you decide to change your mind, you're creating new, I call them the neurological highways. It goes under construction. When you take away an old thought and you don't want to use that exit anymore, it gets shut down. Construction, we shutting this down so that we can start anew. So one of the things you challenge yourself with is what I'm believing helping me? Is what I'm believing serving me? And if it's not, what can I change and shift to? You talked about your faith. What does it say? What that I believe in that I maybe not be leaning into? Because I recall a story in the Bible. The man said, I believe, but help me with my unbelief. That's a whole work in itself.
It is. Wow. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Oh my goodness. Oh, and Miss Yvette said, what truth do you want listeners to hold as they step into rebranding themselves?
We talked about self-talk. One thing I encourage clients to do is, and Louise Hayes is famous for this, called mirror work. Talk to yourself. If no one believes in you, you believe in you. The other piece is everything is not for an announcement. You don't have to tell everything. As my grandma would say, shut your mouth and hold on to it. Okay. You don't have to talk about sometimes there are things that you hold to yourself. I'm a parent of a high schooler that's about to graduate. And my husband and I've spent so much time pouring. And now I'm like, you know what? I've got some things that I want to work on for myself. What are the things that you're holding that's just for you? Everything may not be meant to be shared just yet. So develop it for yourself and trust yourself. I have another coach friend that always talks about trust your gut. Intuition is real. Trust yourself. Your first mind, I'm sure people in the audience have experienced where you've had a decision that you need to make and you call 5, 10, 15 people and can't get none of them. Nobody answers the phone. You know why? Because it was meant for you to trust you. Because the first thing that you thought, and when that feeling that says, okay, don't go right, go left. Okay, don't go in that door, go over here. Okay, don't take that exit. That's intuition. It works. Lean into it. So
it's amazing. So Coach Lakesha, we're going to go into how people can get a hold of you if you don't mind. Lakesha, here we go.
So first of all, I didn't even touch on this, but I'm a proud, a wonderful and amazing executive coach, but I'm also, I don't do acting anymore. To keep me into my creative bag, I am a certified makeup artist as well. So I'm a coach and I'm an image consultant. And what I love about I enhance, because let me tell you something, in these streets, in these makeup streets, people always be talking about, well, I want my face beat. I don't beat anyone. Let me just say that I don't beat. I enhance what you have. So you can always find me on my website, inspiringbeauty.com, or you can reach me at Coach Lakesha B. Glover at gmail.com. But I love the two because, as we were talking about imposter and all these other things, whenever I have the opportunity to be in the presence of a woman and to enhance them, right? I do this whole makeover. I really want them to understand that the greatest thing that you can do for yourself, Coach Lakesha says, make this beautiful inside. And I promise you your outside will glow too.
All right. Well, hey, here we go. So let's move. Let's do this. What we got?
Yeah. So visit me online. This is again, you can find us at Inspiring Beauty, and that's BEYOUTY, because I want you to inspire you to be you. But I am the Inspiring Inner Look and Lakesha's Inspiring Looks makeup artistry.
And I'm showing it on the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. So
yes,
right there. So if you want to see it. So when people go on your site, this is what they're gonna see.
Yes, there's a tab that it'll I put both of them together because listen, trying to manage all the social media in all these different places, I said no. I had one of my mentors say, girl, put it on that site. So you'll see Lakesha's Inspiring Looks, but you'll also see the tab for the Inner Look Coaching and Consulting.
There we go.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. And now I think I saw a form. I didn't put it. If they needed to get a hold of you, they fill out this form.
You can fill out the form. You can shoot me an email. Again, you reach out to me on any of my social medias. I definitely will respond back. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Is somebody sending me a message here? Oh, we got more comments. Okay, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. We want to make this happen. Let me see. Oh, here we go. And and Christy said, amen, sister. Trust the voice within.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
Dr. Pacheco Turner says, can you talk about the emotional side of rebranding yourself, specifically grieving the version of yourself you had to outgrow, even as it relates to making it beautiful inside, as you just said?
Yeah. I appreciate and thank you so much, Dr. Turner. I appreciate you even using the word grieving because, face it, we get comfortable a lot of times with who we are. We wake up, we routine, especially if you wake up, you do the same things over and over. And sometimes there is a fear of change, right? But we know that change is inevitable. And so if you are comfortable, but you know you need to change, baby steps. Baby steps. It does not have to be, listen, you don't have to do something where it's so drastic, but you want to do it so that it's lasting change. And so if you have to every month do something different, then do that until you change your routine. Because this is the other piece. And one of the ways that for me, I've always been a visionary. As a child, I always had dreams. Most things that I do, even when I'm going to an event, an affair, anything, I either have a vision or I have a dream about it. But begin falling in love with that picture that you see, because guess what? It's actually the reality that you're just trying to live to get to. It's coming. It's going to happen. And it's okay that it's just like a plant. You're being repotted. That's all. You're getting to a new space. Your territory is enlarging and changing. And it's okay. The old person that you wasn't a bad person, but there's change. We didn't stay babies all our lives. We grew up. Mm-hmm. Right. And so it's okay to get, because the other thing is you may really, really like this new person that you're becoming. For myself, I had to really accept the fact that I was so totally unique and eclectic. I used to try to be, of course, growing up in a military family, everybody kind of looked the same. Well, guess what? I don't. I like wearing glitter all the time. I like sequins, and I wear them all the time. I wear them to church. I wear them to the grocery store. When it's really cold, I will wear a fur to the grocery store because that's who I am. But I had to get comfortable with that and not worry about what is this person going to say. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Because guess what? You may be inspiring someone. If you live out loud, do you know how many lives you can change by you living in your truth and out loud the way that you're supposed to? I mean, hello, we started this podcast with the most amazing music and all of it, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, that is beautiful. Absolutely. Absolutely. And as we go forward, tell us what we got here. What is this?
So that's my twin. No, it's so funny. Like when people, this is my way. So this is the Lakesha's Inspiring Looks website. But I cannot tell you that I've had countless people. They're like, "Who is that girl on the front?" So I always just say, "Oh, that's one of my models. That's one, but that's me."
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
What would you find here? What would people go on your site for?
When you go on the site, you will get an opportunity to see my portfolio, my makeup portfolio. But again, like I said, there's a tab for the inner look, coaching, consulting. These are some of the services I love. These are some of my beautiful models. Some are actual models, and some of them were just my everyday woman. Listen, anyone. I would put, so I've done male grooming, but for the most part, I have my women clients that just want to put their best face forward. And so, so these are just a good look at some of my work.
Yes, it's beautiful. I loved it. It was stupendous. I ain't got no hair. But, if I had somebody say, okay, girl, I got to get my stuff done. But, we won't get
It's funny, though, because look, when men, like I keep up with my makeup training, but men get groomed too in order to, they get powdered. They don't, do the whole full zhuzh, but they will get powdered to make sure that, they look on camera and they're nice and neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see what we got here. So tell them what we got here.
So if you want to get in touch, and I love Jose put a nice QR code so you can scan a QR code to get to my website to keep in touch with me. But I love, definitely stay in touch, reach out. But if you don't, again, believe in you. Believe in you. If you've never experienced coaching before, I would really encourage you, get a coach. And even though coaching is not therapy, coaching can be very therapeutic. Again, a lot of times what folks are looking for is they're looking to be heard. I cannot tell you the countless folks that I'm sitting and I'm listening intently, because that's one of our superpowers, is that we know how to listen. And the client will say, "Are you there? Are you frozen?" No, I'm listening. I'm listening because I gotta hear. I have to hear the greatness that's coming out of you so that I can give it back to you.
Yeah. Dr. Turner said, I love that you talked about enhancing beauty. It seems you're doing that in all aspects. How do you audit your life to make sure it matches who you say you're becoming? What are a few practical ways we can start today or this week?
Number one, really getting into a practice that is good for you. How do you check in with you? For me, I have a daily practice of scripture and prayer. And I check in with God and ask, I need protection and I need direction. But that may look different. You may start out with a walk. You may start out with journaling. So figure out what is that process that you can check in with you. And again, I really encourage, it is get comfortable with talking to you, because sometimes you're going to need to encourage you and check yourself. I think we've heard the phrase, I think it was a rap song, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yes.
Okay. What that I've taken that to mean is that I would rather me check me than somebody else check me hard, right? And when you slipping, let's just be real. We know when we're out of order, or when we have done something that was out of character. Check yourself. I heard you say that forgiveness was hard, right? How I reframe forgiveness is, for me, it's a release of me. I'm releasing me from it, because it's not for the other person. Because trust and believe, when someone has done something to you, most of the time they are living, you got them in your head. They are not thinking about you.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. But when you release and you move on, you do that, as I say, I like to say, you peacefully detach from that thing. So figure out, going back to the question, but figure out what is it that you need to do. And it may be daily, it may be weekly. One thing that I like to do every quarter is I steal away from my family, from my friends. I'm either going to go take a long drive, or I love to hike, especially when it gets warm. I like to hike, but I go and I spend some time with me. I may go take myself out to lunch or go take myself out to dinner and just be comfortable in my own company.
Absolutely. And what do we have here?
So other ways that you can get in touch with me, Facebook. I'm really most of my two that I'm mainly on is Facebook and Instagram. But again, stay in touch. I would love, first of all, thank you for my live studio audience. I love y'all. I would love to connect and stay in touch with you. Thank you, Jose. But yeah, keep in touch. If there's anything, again, Lakesha's Inspiring Looks and the Inner Look Coaching and Consulting. I love partnering with other people because there's a lot that we can do out in this world. And one thing that I firmly believe in is that there's enough to go around. One thing you say, we are not crabs in a barrel. No, we're not, because there's enough to go around.
And Lakesha, before we let you go, what's one thing you would like our listeners to leave with?
One thing that I'd like you to leave with is understanding that everything you need, you already have. You are creative, you are resourceful, and you are whole. Do not doubt. When you get into a moment of doubt, still yourself. And recently I saw a video. Anytime animals in the wild, when they go through, especially, I can't remember the animal, but when they go through a situation of terror or danger, in order for them to get that off of themselves, they shake themselves violently, right? And so I took that and I started researching, and I noticed that people do tapping. But what is it? And this is the question I leave. What is it that you need to do to release yourself from something that's holding you back or that's tried to shake you? Figure out what that thing is. Is it, if it's a practice, whatever it is, but figure out what that is, because you have too much greatness inside of you to let it stay locked up. There are too many people in the cemetery that had potentials that they never got to see come to life, but you're still here. So that means that you still have a chance to make sure that you can make it happen.
Wow. Coach Lakesha.
It's all right. It's Lakesha. Just say Keisha.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. It's my Puerto Rican tongue-tied, like Lakesha, Coach Lakesha. Yeah. I want to say thank you, ma'am, for the golden nuggets you dropped. I know for me, I wrote some stuff down. I just want to thank you for coming on the show and giving us your love, your experience, and your time. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Diamond said, great episode. Dr. Turner said, hey, thank you for this conversation. It really resonated with me.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
getting a lot of Yvette say, great episode. Thank you, Coach Lakesha. Oh my God.
It's okay, Lakesha.
Lakesha, thank you, gracias. But I just want to say gracias. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. And don't forget to join us next Saturday where we got Mali, and she went from refugee to entrepreneur. It should be pretty good. So please join us for that one. And I want everybody to have a great weekend. Thank you for being here and be blessed. And people are saying, love the nuggets. Thank you. From
yes.
Keisha, great episode. So yeah, again, thank you, everybody. Be blessed. And I just thank you for being here. I love you guys.
Thank you. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Wow. All right.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.